the historic Oxford Square. This is RebTalk on the Ole Miss Sports Network from Learfield in partnership with Super Talk Mississippi Media. RebTalk is brought to you by Boo-Ray, Oxford's upscale down-home restaurant on the square. C-Spire, official wireless provider of Ole Miss athletics. By Coca-Cola. Fans, there's magic when we cheer together. Let's create some magic with an ice-cold Coke. Cheers.
Navy
and by
Memphis
Gentile, the official apparel partner of the Ole Miss radio team. Now, let's go live to Boo-Ray on the historic Oxford Square. Here's the voice of the Rebels, David Callum.
Hello, indeed, and welcome to Boo-Ray. Hi, everybody. Oh, you can do better than that. We got a big crowd here. You ready? Do we just need to do a hotty-toddy out of the gate? We were talking about that. I've heard 62 million hotty-toddies. You want to do one? What do you think, Joseph? Are you ready? There we go. Okay.
There you go.
Yay. I'm always glad there's no kids running around. We've had this thing for so many years, haven't we? Hey, we're excited to be with you again tonight. Looking forward to a big weekend. If you notice, got a couple of wonderful people up here we'll be talking to in just a moment, the next segment. And y'all welcome Ole Miss Soccer to Boo-Ray tonight. Y'all ready to roll, huh? All right. They're hosting LSU. If you hate LSU, raise your hand. That's good. So you all need to go to the soccer match tomorrow, right? We hate LSU. Are you from LSU? You need to exit. I don't see anybody, so we're good with that. Hey, y'all give it up for Brandon Husband. He's my sidekick. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, DK. Another big win in Louisiana, which is nice to come home and go on the road, play a top 25 team, get the win, always good. Had some guys really step up. Jackson Dart, what a game for him. Really kind of took over there at the end and got a big win. So we're excited for a week at home. We got soccer starting SEC play, so that's exciting. We got a lot of things going on with Ole Miss athletics as we roll into a big weekend with Georgia Tech.
Yep, we're excited about it. We're going to have Coach Lane Kiffin here in a moment. From soccer, of course, we're excited to have our new head coach here, Molly Rouse. We'll have her in just a moment. Jenna Kemp, one of our players, and we're going to get them in the very next segment. Wrapping up our show tonight, the defensive end, Jared Ivey, who got the thick six.
Thick six.
I loved it when he said that at the press conference. A thick six. A thick six. He said he hadn't scored a touchdown since like fifth grade or something.
That's right.
So anyway, we look forward to talking to him too. Of course, we're here at Boo-Ray, our wonderful hosts. They do such a great job. We appreciate them as always. If you're in Oxford anytime, we encourage you to add Boo-Ray to your list of stops, regardless of when you're in town. And B-Hud, for questions tonight, we're going to be able to get it off of our Facebook Live site and here in the room too.
We do. We got a couple different ways to ask questions. First and foremost, if you're in the room, we'll have Brock walking around with some little slips. You can fill out a question slip. Please print carefully so I can read it. Had some handwriting issues.
Don't
in
do
the
that.
room
Make it
last week.
Make it look rough.
If you want it to get on, you better be easy to read. So look for those slips. Make sure you fill one out, and we'll try our best to get it on. If you're on Facebook or on social media, you jump on Facebook.com/Ole Miss Sports. You can, as soon as you go there, you should see the video player already there. We're doing a live stream here from Boo-Ray. You can jump in the comments, leave a question in the comments. We typically get a good number of those, so we'll be sure to check those out, see if we can get some of those on. And then if you're on X, not Twitter, if you're on X,
I know.
Make sure you can tweet or X or whatever it's called.
They're Xers now instead of tweets.
You can Xer at Ole Miss Network, which is our universal account, or at Reb Voice, R-E-B Voice, or at myself, B_HUD, H-U-D, and tweet at us or exit us or whatever, and we'll I think a lot of people like to exit us.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's right.
if you want to do that, we'll do our best to get your questions on the show here tonight.
So that's coming up a little bit later. Hey, when we come back, we got Ole Miss Soccer. We'll take a break on the Ole Miss Radio Network.
is Oxford's upscale down-home restaurant on the square. Now for more Reb Talk, here's David Callum.
And indeed, welcome back to Boo Ray. We're going to talk a little Ole Miss soccer tonight. We got first-year Ole Miss soccer coach Molly Rouse. Y'all give it up for Molly. Great to have her here. She came to us from St. George, Utah, where she was the head coach at Utah Tech and helped lead them really into Division I. They were Division II and took them into Division I. They won 19 games, picked up the program's first Division I win. She served a couple of years as an assistant at her alma mater, Minnesota. So she's from way up there, right? Are you a Minnesota native too?
I grew up there. Yeah.
You grew up in Minnesota. Boy, I bet she loves this humidity, right? But she's been an assistant coach at different places, Iowa, Nebraska, Omaha, Buffalo, Alabama State. She played collegiately 4 years at Minnesota, had a great career there, had an assist. Get this. Have you seen this bio? Had an assist in a school record tying 5 straight matches in 2008.
Big time.
5 in a row. Jenna, that's big time. Then played pro soccer for the Minnesota Kings and Vancouver Whitecaps. We're so glad to have Molly. And she brought with her tonight Jenna Kemp, senior from Germantown, Tennessee. Houston High School. Scored a goal against Sela already this year. She appeared in 19 games last year, had an assist against La Tech. Been around a while. I was picking at her about, wow, you know, one of the few people that's stayed, you know, people jump around a lot. But high school, she was the Tennessee Gatorade Player of the Year. Very athletic family. Her brothers, and you can correct me if I get one of these wrong, Justin, Harrison, Grayson. Justin played baseball at Ole Miss and to UAB, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then Grayson is with Memphis, playing for the Tigers. That's
He
cool. But we're glad to have her here as well. And first of all, we'll just talk with Coach Rouse. And welcome to Oxford. Has it been what you expected so far?
Oh, it sure has. I mean, this is an awesome community, and the tradition and the history surrounding the institution has been really, really fun to be a part of. Very electric community to get to jump into.
Tell us about your family.
So me and my husband Dane, who is also on staff with the women's soccer team, we have known each other for a long time, and we were both soccer coaches, and that's actually how we ended up connecting. So soccer runs through our family, both of them, and we have a daughter, Alex, who is at all of the team events, and she comes to all the games. So she'll be the one who's running around terrorizing everybody at the soccer games. So make sure that you give her a high five.
Sweet. And we're starting SEC play tomorrow night against LSU. Obviously, your attraction to Ole Miss had to be to get in the Southeastern Conference. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it's a very competitive conference, and, you know, one in terms of women's soccer, one of the most competitive conferences in the nation. So getting to be a part of that, you know, every single game being very high level, and, you know, the type of players that you get to work with in an institution like this is definitely something that we were really, really excited about, and was a really big draw to come to Oxford.
They told me they're going to do a senior dinner here a little bit later, and there's 6 seniors, so there's some age floating around. But, you know, as a new first-year coach, there's getting to know the folks, and also bonding with new players coming in and all of that. All that go pretty good for you?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly was a pretty quick turnaround. So we started in middle of May, and the season kicks off in the beginning of August. So we didn't quite have a ton of time to be able to build super deep relationships, but that is what we spent most of our time doing during the build-up to preseason. And we have unbelievable human beings within the program, really good soccer players, people who care a lot about growing and getting better every single day. So we have all the pieces we need to be very successful.
We got Jenna with us, who's been around a while. What are you majoring in? You told me, but tell everybody else.
I graduated in May with exercise science degree.
So you got the degree.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Going to grad school? Or?
I'm in a grad school right now. It's the one with the athletics, working with Bob Baker and them. So
Nobody probably knows better. What are you, a fifth-year senior, about what it's like when you shift from non-conference into league play with LSU coming in here tomorrow night? What do you think?
It's huge. You know, our non-conference is already very competitive, and then you ramp it up to SEC play, and every game is just super intense, but it's super fun to be a part of too.
What do you think about this team compared to some others as we get ready for league play?
I think this team's super special. I mean, it's obviously scary with a new coach and everything, but Molly's made it a super smooth transition, and I think we have a special group going forward.
What do you think, Molly, are the keys to be successful?
Yeah, I mean, soccer? I think our ability to form really strong connections with each other, to be very process driven. So as much as everybody here loves winning, and there's not a single person in this room that likes losing, talking about winning is not what actually drives results. And so we've been very process driven and focusing on really intentionally what are we doing every single day to build the foundation that we need to have sustainable success. And the senior class has done a really good job in being awesome role models and really leading the charge and what that looks like.
B. Hud.
Jenna, when you come in, when a new coach comes in, a staff, you find out as a team that there's going to be a transition. For you as a player, what's that transition like, getting from an old staff who had a certain way, now a new staff coming in with Coach Rouse that probably does things a little bit differently? Every coach obviously does. What's that transition been like for you?
I think the team was very nervous, obviously, but, you know, our assistant coach Rob stayed around, which has helped kind of make things similar to what it's been in the past. So that's been nice. And Molly was very open to hearing like what we are used to and what we wanted to do in the future. So it's been pretty normal and not too much big change that caused us to be like freaking out all the time.
I think it's good, too, because sometimes coaches throw everything out and start fresh, but sometimes you need to hold on, especially a successful program like we've had to
and
this
I mean,
point.
That's the thing that was honestly like the most attractive about this program is they've had very good success in the past. And the goal for us was to build sustainability and consistency, right? And so, you know, being able to know what to expect from year to year, but there was an awesome foundation already built out and something that we really felt like we could build upon.
Jenna, tell me about you. Little kid, what sports did you play? What led you into soccer?
So I have 3 older brothers, so I always grew up around a bunch of sports, but I grew up playing softball, I did gymnastics, soccer obviously, and then I played some basketball.
Oh, did you? Wow.
Yeah.
So you were able to catch the brothers, and they were able to catch you, right?
Yeah, always.
So did you pitch in softball? What position you played
Yeah,
back in
I
the
was
good
a
old days?
pitcher, and then I quit in like when I was 7, so it was like my dad's the one pitching the ball, so I didn't do too much, but it was fun. It's definitely helped me like become the person I am today athletically.
So competitive family?
Oh yeah, all 3 of my brothers played 3 different sports growing up, and then like you said, my brothers played baseball in college. So
what has the Ole Miss experience been for you? As you're about to wrap this up, it's kind of hard to believe. It seemed like you got here yesterday, but here we go. I mean, you've been here a while.
Yeah, it's super nostalgic, but I've loved every minute here at Ole Miss. It's the reason I stuck around my 5th year. I mean, obviously the community's great, and the program, we have such a great foundation again, and you know, what more could you want? You're in the SEC, the facilities are great, the people are great. So, you know, it's everything I always wanted.
Now, have you told Coach Rouse we had a little bit of a brush up with LSU last year?
Yeah, I think she probably saw that on live TV.
Okay. When we went to the SEC tournament, I was ready to go through the TV. Were you?
Yeah, I mean, you never know. It's a lot rougher than you would think. You know, watch those matches and when they get after it. Question for Coach Rouse. One, can I see the hat collection? You have a pretty impressive collection of hats.
You're going to have to keep coming out to
Really?
games
That's
if
right.
you want
Yeah,
to see new
she's
ones.
got an incredible selection. Hats I've never even seen where I'm like, where'd she get that?
Yeah, the one today that they put up to promote the show
Yeah.
from the athletic park. I was like, oh, that's a cool hat.
Yeah, she probably has that.
And I
one.
thought you and I had everything.
Yeah, well, we don't.
Apparently we don't.
Unfortunately. So I'd love to know your thought process behind being able to keep a veteran goalkeeping coach like Coach Thompson here. I mean, he's meant a lot to the soccer program in general, but then, you know, helping build that and having some incredible goalkeepers over the last 5 to 7 years. What did it mean for you to be able to keep a veteran like that on staff?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a no-brainer. And once, you know, I had accepted the position and learned that Rob wanted to stay on, it was literally just a quick conversation to make sure we were on the same page about, you know, how we wanted to talk about the team, how we wanted to move forward. But it was a no-brainer. His experience and the relationships that he had built with the team and, you know, the comfortability and familiarity that the team had with him was something that was absolutely instrumental in our transition coming in as a new staff. And so that's probably been the thing that's been the most special. I mean, we have Rob Thompson, we have Madison Pizzino, we've maintained people on staff that have really helped us blend together really good traditions of the past and new perspective moving forward, which is exactly what we needed at this point in time.
We've had a good core group, and I know some of these are soccer fans. I've seen you out there, and hopefully they'll be there for LSU tomorrow night. Need a big crowd. We got a bunch of folks in here for this football
crowd.
game.
Get on out.
Get there and do your thing. Be yelling against LSU. Call them whatever you want. We don't care. But I know you've got to be excited and thrilled to know that, hey, league play tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Are you going to sleep tonight or what?
Oh, I certainly will. I mean,
Okay.
the thing that we have talked about the most is it is exciting that we're starting SEC play, but we have put one foot in front of the other in terms of our processes, and this is another game. Like, we've played good teams, and it's another game that we are already prepared for. So, very competitive team, exciting time, but approaching it in a very similar way that we've approached all the matches this year.
You ready, Jenna?
Oh, yeah.
Last
Always
round?
ready. I know, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Well, let's get a dub over those Tigers. What do you think?
Duh.
Sounds good. Hey, y'all give it up for Ole Miss Soccer one more time. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you and good luck
Thank you.
tomorrow. Game time's what? I didn't know.
7
7 o'clock.
o'clock.
7 o'clock tomorrow night, soccer, pitch. You be there, right? And do your thing. Let's get loud. Hey, we're going to continue with RebTalk. Coach Kiffin will be joining us here in just a moment. Look forward to talking to him. Jared Ivey off the team is going to be with us, too, in a bit as well. Hey, you can score $10 in bonus points. Hotty-toddy fans, sign up online for the Exxon Mobile Rewards Plus program with the code WINOleMiss at emrewards.com or on the app to get this $10 signing bonus for a limited time. And we've been promoting the Ole Miss Golf Course. Weather's been holding great for it, too, so if you'd like to go play out there. I know my brother plays with the older group every Tuesday or whatever. He's always out there playing golf. But you can visit online at the OleMissGolfCourse.com. The Ole Miss Golf Course, exceptional golf, uniquely Ole Miss. We'll continue with RebTalk shortly on the Ole Miss Radio Network.
Hotty Toddy Ole Miss. More Reb Talk from Boo-Ray on the Square continues now. Here's David Kellum.
Two big chunk plays. Rebels have it first and 10 to lane 31. Crossing route. Harris has it. Splits two defenders. He heads to the end zone. And just like last week, Trey Harris scores the first touchdown of the game. Slot receiver goes in motion. Jackson. There's a snap to Horton. Runs to his right, being chased by J.J. Pegues. Pegues grabs him and slings him down back at the 33-yard line. There's a sack. The handoff is to Judkins. He goes off the right side. Nice hole for the offensive line, and he sticks it in the end zone. Touchdown, Ole Miss. And Dart in trouble, is looking to throw, and is going to fire the trigger. He's got him at the 5. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, the bouncing back on the field. They're not calling it dead. Grabbed by Ivey. He's going down the sidelines. Big guy's going to score a TD. Big man touchdown as Jared Ivey from Suwanee, Georgia, takes it to the end zone. Ole Miss is going to come back and win this one, 37-20, the final score. The Rebels go to 2-0, a battle of top 25 teams getting after each other here. And the Rebels in a tight one early, able to pull away here in the fourth quarter and get the job done. What a nice win for Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels. Indeed it was. And, I think we're going to look back and watch Tulane. I believe they're going to have an outstanding year again. That was a very good football team. Nice job by Ole Miss to fight back. And our week-end review is presented by Graduate Oxford, the highlights from our previous game. You can start your day off right. Visit Graduate Oxford, just steps away from the University of Mississippi campus. Whether you're in town for a big game or a local Rebel looking for some pre-tailgate grub, Graduate Oxford is the smartest place to stay for the Ole Miss fan. And a nice win indeed for the Rebels. Don't forget, too, that Gentile's official apparel provider of the Ole Miss Network. Check out the new collection of Ole Miss apparel available now at gentileapparel.com or at Landry's on the Square the next time you're in Oxford. Gentile Apparel is a proud partner of Ole Miss Athletics. I got the tailgate pattern. Tailgate print.
I got one of the
We got a home
OGs.
games. That's perfect.
Yeah. I got one of the originals here. This is
got
like
the
our
original?
year one.
I love this one.
Big fan. Big fan.
Um,
It was cool to see in Tulane the second half, surge. But I think people thought, just even my friends with text messages thought, hey, Michael Pratt's out. We run to victory. But as Coach talked about in the press conference this week, and we talked about it on the show last week, you don't get where they've been with just one player.
Right.
Granted, he's a great quarterback. The backup came in and looked really good.
Horton led them to 2 wins over ranked teams in the past.
Right. So he's not just a pushover. And then again, you got other guys around you. They have good running back, good receivers. Their defense played great. But it was nice to see us make those second half adjustments. Come out in the second half, only give up 3 points, and lead us to victory. And as I said in the open, Jackson, I feel like those last 2 drives really just kind of took over. He stepped up and he stepped up and was the guy that we thought he would be this year.
Well, and I thought in the trenches in the first half, they held their own with us, and we didn't get a whole lot accomplished. In the second half, we dominated really on both sides, especially on the defensive side. The rotation with so many players is just going to be super beneficial as we move down the road. Jared said in the press conference this week that he was fresh at the end of the game. He said, we're all close and tight. We know that, hey, we're going to get back in. Everybody's going to get to play and that kind of thing. And so that was cool to see.
It was cool to see the long field goal by Caden Davis.
Yeah,
and we were
56-yarder.
I was there. And the first thing, as soon as they run him out there, first thing I did was look at the flag on the goalpost, and I was like, oh, he's got the win. I was like, this will be interesting.
They asked him in the press conference this week, is that the longest you kicked? He said, yeah, in competition. But, in the inter-squad game at A&M, I was messing around and hit a 76-yarder.
I mean, unbelievable.
I just calmly said it. 76!
Yeah.
Wind or no wind, kind of crazy.
Coach
Kiffin's going to be with us here in just a second. We'll take another break and have him coming up on the Ole Miss Radio Network.
is Oxford's
said if
upscale
Ivey-
down-home restaurant on the square. Now for more Reb Talk, here's David Callum.
Welcome back to Boo Ray. We are glad to see you here. We're looking forward. There's some good food floating around, by the way. What are you eating? Chicken sandwich. Man, that's the fanciest chicken sandwich I've ever seen. That thing looks good. And this table here's got, what's the seafood? Oh, there's some quiche over there, right? Looking good. A little dessert here and there. Oh, Boo Ray's got it going. Hey, TrueCare is changing the healthcare game to help Mississippians live their best life by combining the experience of a national health plan with the local knowledge of Mississippi health providers. To learn more, go to truecare.ms. And our friends at Country Pleasing Sausage want to remind you again, too, they're a family-owned company in Florence and proud supporter of Ole Miss athletics. They're being served in concession stands now. Just say Country Pleasing, please. So we encourage you to do that, too. Coach Kiffin's running a little bit late, supposed to be with us here in just a second. We'll also have Jared Ivey with us in a moment, too. Ole Miss Soccer, great to have them, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Our airtime on the Ole Miss Network tomorrow will be, or Saturday, rather, will be 4:30. Got a 6:30 kickoff with Georgia Tech, second round with Georgia Tech. Rebels dominated Georgia Tech a year ago. You know what's really crazy? Last year against Georgia Tech, Zamari Walton and Akilo Stone played against us. 1 year later, they're two key players on our defense. So they'll be going against, of course, Jared Ivey was over at Georgia Tech, too, got here the previous year. So that's kind of the weirdness of the way things are going these days with the transfer portal and all. But Georgia Tech had an outstanding opening game and took a loss to Louisville. They were up, 28-13, I think, with maybe – midway through the third quarter. I remember ESPN threw up a graphic that said they had an 82% chance to win the game, and then they didn't. So Louisville had a good finish to that one. They had a big win last week, too. So they'll come in with a record of 1-1 on the season.
You know, the crazy thing about that, though, is that's basically a completely different team over there. You know, but with the modern college game of transfer portal, you know, a team that you look at all the stats and you look at tape and all that, I mean, you know, they got a different at almost every skill position. They've got, you know, a couple of their defensive players are starting for us now, or playing for us. So there's you know, again, it's hard to manage that now in the college game. And, you know, you really have to focus on those first two games that they played and figure out schemes and all of that. You know, had a great outing last week against, you know, South Carolina State, which you would expect. And as you said just then, you know, Louisville was a close game and kind of down to the wire. So you can't overlook them for sure. You gotta get out there and line up and play the game. But you know, if we do what we've been doing, take care of business, you would think that we would come out on top. But again, you never know. You got to line up and play the game.
It should be a huge recruiting weekend. I know we won't talk specifics there. We'll have a lot of folks on campus.
No doubt. And, you know, the Alumni Association has done a great job of really reaching out and getting people back. And there's going to be a parents' weekend for several different groups so that, you know, campus is going to be buzzing. I think you're going to see, because of the night game, a 6:30 kick, you're going to see a lot more people willing to make that drive in. It's not going to be as hot. I mean, all of the things line up for this to be kind of an electric atmosphere. And so I'm excited to see Rebel Nation really show up in full force for this game. The Grove should be packed, and, you know, get out of the Grove, make sure you go to the stadium. But I think it'll be a fun weekend.
We had a good time talking with soccer. We do want to remind you, too, basketball's not too far away, and Coach Beard wants you to get those tickets. And both schedules now are out completely, so you can kind of check that out and figure out what's going to be going on there. Coach Kiffin, we've been told, just a couple of minutes away. Running a little bit late, but we'll get him and take your questions immediately when we come back on Rep Talk on the Ole Miss Radio Network.
Toddy Ole Miss. More Reb Talk from Boo Ray on the Square continues now. Here's David Kellum.
Hey, we do welcome you back to Boo Ray. We're still waiting on football to arrive. Maybe they'll be here in just a moment. Hey, we do want to remind you we're supposed to have Jared Ivey here in a moment, too. And our player interview is always brought to you by our friends at Guthrie's Chicken at 1506 University Avenue in Oxford. And you can check them out. You can visit their new location there, or you give them a call, 662-380-5522 for all of your catering needs this fall. For a full list of locations, visit them online at guthrie'schicken.com. We'll have Jared here in just a moment as well. Jared Ivey is from Swanee, Georgia, and got his first career defensive thick six, he liked to call it. Scoop and score against Tulane. Had 3 total tackles, a sack, and a fumble recovery. 35 career games played in, 81 tackles, 13.5 TFLs, and 6 sacks across his Ole Miss and Georgia Tech career. And he was a preseason All-SEC selection this year. He transferred to Ole Miss from Georgia Tech prior to last season. Then we had 2 more that transferred prior to this season. So that's kind of crazy as well. So we'll get a chance to visit with Jared. I don't know if he came up with thick six off the top of his head or just had it. There's Coach Lane Kiffin.
I think he was ready for that one. He knew.
You think he was
if that
ready
ever
for the
happened,
thick six?
He would have it.
Well, I mean, he's had that in the back of his head forever. Y'all give it up for Coach Kiffin.
Okay.
A lot of traffic out there, sorry.
I was hoping you'd give me something good, like we were working and.
Well, we were grinding.
You were grinding?
Yes.
Sounds
We're trying to come up with some better third down plays than you called last week.
Yeah. I didn't do real good on third down last week. Well, we're going to get better at that, that's for sure. Hey, we're going to have Jared Ivey here in a moment, trying to get him in here. He called his scoop and score a thick six. I like that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
And he's captain this week.
Oh, is he?
Playing his old team.
All that good stuff.
Yeah. He's doing a great job.
We're going to take questions. We'll jump on questions right away since you run a little bit late. See what we can get for you. You ready?
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right. First question.
Is it about John Rice Plumlee?
No, nor is it about juice.
Oh.
I cut out
Okay.
some of those this week. We got a lot of juice questions, though. From
Everybody
Charlotte
loves
in the
juice.
room, Charlotte says, what did you say to the players at halftime to turn things
Where's
around?
Charlotte? There's Charlotte. Own
There
up
you
to
go.
that one.
Yeah.
So you think there was a pretty heated conversation at halftime? Yes or no?
No, I just said you guys got to start listening to me. I mean, first half, they weren't listening to me.
Second
No.
half.
Yeah. I just said, hey, stay the course. You know, really, the game of football, when you've watched it long enough, coached long enough, like, you can't overreact. And everything was kind of going their way, and knew some plays that were kind of there, and we were just missing them. And and just said, just stay the course. You know, don't overreact. You know, let our players keep playing. You know, let's get some turnovers on defense, and let's take this one possession at a time.
Got the turnovers. I thought you talked about Jared Ivey. I thought Piggies played well, got a big sack, and Prince was huge in the game. Did you think, Coach?
Yeah, I thought Prince played really well and kind of lived up to how well he had done in the offseason and expectations, and he'd been a little bit injured before week 1, so it was great to see.
What else you got, B-Hud?
Jeb, your number 1 fan, has a question here. He said, congratulations on the big win Saturday. Excited about this coming week. He said, is Landry planning to do the Rebel Run, or are you going to be nervous if she does the Rebel Run?
That'd be a
Run.
good question, but Landry no-showed. Where is she?
She's not here?
She's later than you.
Oh,
tonight.
she's
That's
studying,
crazy. She's
doing
studying.
homework.
Oh,
Yeah, sure.
wow.
Sure.
That's
Well,
always
her
going to
two
be
best
her
friends
answer.
are here. Is she doing the run? No.
She needs to do the
she's not doing
run.
the
It's going to be like 5,000 people. You could get stampeded over.
Are you guys doing the run?
No.
Maybe it's not the cool
You
thing
are.
to do anymore.
You're going to do it. Okay. You're going to do the run? All right. Some of her buddies are going to do
Boots.
the run. Of course, we're talking about when you run across the field, the freshman class.
That's
gets to do
correct.
that.
Yeah, Rebel Run.
They didn't do that
every
back
year.
in my day. They surely didn't do it at B-Hud's
Well, I'm going
day.
to make her do that.
You going to make her
You
do
should.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
I
that.
actually didn't really know much about it, but since you
It's
say
going to
it,
cost you a credit card or money or something, right?
don't get me started on that.
I figure you're going to have to entice her to run across there.
Question from Colby in the room says, when Jared scooped the ball, what were your immediate thoughts?
Please score, because we haven't been doing very well on offense. So
Yep.
Jacob Munn in the room says, what's the longest kick you've seen Caden Davis make? Do you trust him more than Sebastian Janikowski? That's a little Raiders reference.
That is. Well, I did try like a 76-yarder with Janikowski, which the owner didn't like very well. I think I was fired the next week.
Shocking.
So hopefully Keith likes long field goals.
But it's the longest
Chancellor.
that's ever been tried in the NFL, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So it is a record.
There's a record.
No, this guy's got a big leg. I mean, he's hit from 60 easily, which is crazy. And we took the wind for the fourth quarter. We had the decision at half whether to take the win. We decided to wait till the fourth quarter, and it paid off.
Yeah, no, interesting. We talked to him. He was asking the press conference this week about the longest he's ever kicked. Competition, the 56-yarder is the longest he's ever kicked. But he said I think he said in maybe a scrimmage or something at A&M, he hit a 76-yarder, same distance. So if you just got that 76 itch again with the wind at his back, we'll be ready to go. Boy, he's been a huge addition to this football team. He's done a great job.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like portal additions that you had the marquee names right away, and then there's a lot of guys that maybe weren't the marquee names that are having significant roles on the team on offense, defense, and special teams.
Yeah, no doubt.
Question from Colby in the room says, how did it feel to see Triggs score in the game? Do you think we could see more of that?
I hope so.
Same.
Yeah.
Good hands. Maybe
He runs the right route and catches the ball. We'll be good. So he did do a good job. Had a kind of rocky start to the season, but it was good to see that he got in there and did a really good job, and the sky's the limit for him.
Also from Colby, are you impressed with how Dayton and Jordan have stepped up in filling some of the wide receiver roles?
Yeah.
I am. Obviously, we lost some firepower with outside receivers last year, both in the NFL now, and these guys have done a really good job. And Trey obviously got banged up, but think about it. He got hurt the first series, and so we'd scored 80 points in one game in one series with him. That's pretty good. And he had 8 catches for 5 touchdowns. So that's got to be a record.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's amazing. And got pretty good news from a health standpoint. Things will be okay down the road.
Yeah, we are headed the right direction.
Good. So that's good. That's good news, too.
That's good.
For sure.
A lot of questions in here about injuries. We don't comment on injuries, so we're going to move to the next question. Hal asked, I've not seen much on the Georgia Tech offense this week. What can you expect from them offensively?
Well, they're leading the ACC in offense, so they're doing something right.
Yeah.
And the quarterback, the transfer quarterback, like everybody nowadays, transfer quarterback, is doing a really good job. And they got a new offense, and they're doing good running and passing.
He brought one of his receivers from A&M with him, as Chris Lane went with Haynes King to Georgia Tech. It's just a different world, isn't it? It's amazing how these folks are moving around here and there. But this Georgia Tech, you think at Georgia Tech, you always thought about, the wishbone and grind it out and cloud of dust, and they're totally different these days, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pro-style offense now, and, Coach Brent Key that was with us at Alabama that does a great job, has them playing really hard.
Y'all were together for a year?
Yeah.
At Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, we sure were. And now, these guys had Louisville beat. They were ahead with 4 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, and at one point, I think ESPN flashed had an 82% chance to win at this point. It was like 28-13, and
yeah,
credit to Louisville, they got it done, figured out a way to get it done. What else you got, B-Hud?
Gary in the room from Ohio.
Where's Gary from Ohio? Way back in the back. Hey, Gary.
Did he leave?
He's here.
He's wearing Ole Miss stuff.
What concerns you the most about Georgia Tech, which we talked about somewhat?
I'm more concerned about ourselves, just making sure we don't get in a trap game and that we, come back from playing a lot of snaps in a hot game Saturday and just play really well back home and take care of the football and get the running game going and, play really sound football.
Yeah, I keep throwing depth questions at you periodically because I know how important it is. But Jared Ivey this week in his interview with the press talked about how fresh our defensive front was at the end because we're rotating so many guys. So I know that's a plus. Hopefully continue to be a plus as we move along.
Yeah, I think that was probably underlooked, the whole in the game 30-3, dominate the second half, because some things we didn't play. Really, it was just offense. We'd have been happy. If our offense would have played good, I think we would have been happy how the game was. But, to go into that heat on that turf, it was really hot.
Very
and
hot.
That's something that I'm sure they were thinking was going to be, to their advantage. And here we are in the second half, shutting them out for the most part, but the field goal.
Yeah.
You got a couple more.
Couple more.
Couple
Go.
more if you wanna
What
keep
time we
going.
got? We got time. 2 more.
First question here says from Mike. It says, "Can you tell us what the Tulane player said that got you so fired up?"
Oh, I don't even remember that. People are so observant.
They really are.
They just watch stuff.
Cell phones.
Put it away.
Get you every time.
Put it away.
Private conversation.
I was just protecting our players, Guy was yelling at our players, so I tell our players not to yell back, so I did it for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't do as I
Do as I say, not as I do. That's big.
I love it.
Andy asked about from the live stream. Asked about the defense and wants to know what was your thoughts on only giving up 3 in the second half.
That's ideal. We like that. A lot better than the 7 we gave with the first play of the year.
Yeah.
And then a last question here, and we got to get one in because every show we have to ask a Juice question, and the question
Yes.
for Juice is: does he prefer natural grass or artificial turf?
Like you would know that.
Grass. Do you know why? I do know this. Because our turf, like out on the defensive field at practice, is so hot that I actually had him out there once, and I felt bad because you could see him, he had to like pop his feet up, like to keep his paws off of it,
wow.
to
It's
get
too
off
hot.
of it really quick. So
He's
probably
a
like
grass
all
guy.
dogs, you'd rather have grass.
Is he
you-
going
you
after
can
the
eat it.
tee, or you haven't been told yet? You don't know.
I don't know. I don't know why they don't let me in on that information.
If you want Juice to go get the tee on the kickoff, raise your hand. There you go. It's got to happen. So who do we call? Can we get that done?
Call Wild Rose.
Call Wild Rose. Tell them we got to get that done for sure. Hey, thanks so much. I know you've been busy. We appreciate you getting by. Tell me about Jared Ivey before we bring him up.
Yeah, he's done a great job, and really he's taken another step here, and rushing really well, playing the run well. So we're excited about him. I hope that he's eating well, because the big challenge this year was his diet and his body composition. So hopefully you guys are giving him healthy food.
I doubt
tonight.
it. But anyway, he can
Come on.
take one night off, right? No.
No.
You got to be consistent.
Consistency.
Give it up for Rebel head coach Lane Kiffin.
guys.
Good luck against Georgia Tech. Wish you the best. Jared Ivey's going to be next. We got him in the house on RebTalk.
is Oxford's upscale down-home restaurant on the square. Now for more Reb Talk, here's David Callum.
Back to throw. In trouble, steps up, hit, the ball's out. It's bouncing back on the field. They're not calling it dead. Grabbed by Ivey. He's going down the sidelines. Big guy's going to score a TD. Big man touchdown as Jared Ivey from Swanee, Georgia, takes it to the end zone. Y'all give it up for Thick Six. Man, I guess I can start there. Where'd you come up with that? That's great. I love it.
Oh, that's just what I was hearing in the locker room, and after everybody kept saying it, so I was like, I might as well just run with it. Yeah.
Thick Six. When you saw it there, did you think score or just make sure I pick it up cleanly?
Pick it up clean, but score was the first thing on my mind. I saw the ball, then I saw the green in front of it, so I was thinking scoop the whole time.
You told us at the press conference this week, this first touchdown for you since like fifth grade or something.
Fifth grade, yeah. Had a little double coverage, slot fade. I was playing tight end at the time, you know what I mean?
Who was your coach in the fifth grade? When you, all that terminology going on.
Shouts out to Coach Shelley. They got us right at a young age. We was watching tape, all that. Coach Shelley, Coach Collins, all of them. So, yeah, we was getting right.
You're a Georgia guy. You were at Georgia Tech. We know the story. You came to Ole Miss last year. And a lot of guys, I'm sure, are still on that team that you're friends with.
Yeah, just a couple, honestly.
Really?
They had a lot of people leave, but the guys that are still there, I am still close with. And, you know, shouts out to those guys. My boy Kyle just actually caught a pick last week. So
yeah.
It'll be exciting to get out there and go at it again with them year two.
I watched both games. Of course, the Louisville game, I know they had to be disappointed. They had that game if they just could have finished. But they looked really good in both games.
They did, yeah. So it's definitely some preparation we got to take into it. It's not a game we could take lightly. And, just really excited to get out there and play another game.
You talked about the rotation in the press conference this week. I just talked to Coach Kiffin about it, that because of the depth we've got on the defensive front, you talked about it, even though it was hot and humid and crazy in New Orleans, you guys felt fresh at the end. Yeah,
absolutely. We're a solid 2 to 3 deep at every position, and every team in the country can't say that across their D-line. And so I'm super proud of how the guys have come along since last year. When I first got here, we've been going crazy and working super hard in the offseason, and, you know, I feel like everybody's tasting those rewards.
Can you talk about a guy that I've really fell in love with is your position coach, Coach Joyner. He just seems so genuine and so pure and so just like the quintessential assistant football coach that loves his guys. Can you just talk about him and what he means to you guys?
Absolutely. He's a great dude. I knew from when he recruited me originally when I jumped in the portal that he was just a big energy guy and he was going to be on 24/7. And my first meeting with him, I come in, it's me and my mom on the visit. He's cutting up tape. He's yelling at the top of his lungs, this. He's showing me highlights and stuff from last year. So, you know, I knew he was going to be a big energy guy. You know, he's one of the only people Coach Kiffin retained from the last staff. And I think that just speaks to him as a coach and his ability to bring juice every day and develop players.
The position room is really good, but the overall depth, don't you think it's improved too?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like a lot of guys that were – I don't want to say a lot of guys that needed to go left, and we brought in some great guys that want to work, want to win, and they fit right into the culture immediately, and I mean, just solid across the board.
Give me the player's perspective about the portal world. Of course, it gave you a great opportunity to jump in the SEC, but it's got to be advantageous to players.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. One thing I would say is just to be smart. A lot of people hop in the portal and they trade down. You know, I was blessed and fortunate to trade up and come to the SEC, but it's a tricky market, and a lot of people promise you a lot of things, but for a school like us who really buys in and really vets players and really goes and grabs, you know, hidden talent in the portal can be so advantageous. Obviously, Coach Kiffin talks a lot about players being able to make money now with that NIL, and I think it's a great thing. You know what I mean? I feel like guys are just getting what they deserve, and you know what I mean? I think the game's evolving, and I think it's a great thing.
Got another thick six in you?
I hope so.
Maybe tomorrow. I mean, Saturday. Maybe.
Who knows? If I do, It might have to go on a T-shirt.
I love it. Y'all give it up for Jared Ivey. Appreciate you, Jared. We'll be back with some final thoughts.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Nights out on the square. Saturdays in the Grove. Hotty toddy Ole Miss. More Reb Talk from Boo-Ray on the Square continues now. Here's David Callum.
And welcome back to Boo-Ray. I got a couple of things. Timmy Price sent me an email this week. He's with the Athletic Grounds, and his wife Tara's having a birthday Saturday on game day. Y'all still here? Are you here? Yay! I did it. Y'all owe me lunch. But anyway, happy birthday. That's great. We hope that you get a dub on your birthday over Georgia Tech. That's for sure. A couple of high school friends here. Sheila, y'all give it for my friend Sheila. All the way from South Carolina. We went to high school together. She made much better grades than I did.
She looks a lot younger than you, too.
I know. I can't help it.
I'm kidding.
And my boy Ronnie was
I'm
here,
kidding
too.
with
I
you.
had two
You
of
do
my
look
high school guys here tonight. That's pretty cool. Two.
It's like a reunion in here for you.
They will. Don't talk to her. Don't have a discussion with her. She knows stuff that the rest of you don't know and don't need to know. But anyway, that's cool. Hey, we're looking forward to the game. 4:30 airtime again for us.
We do. Again, as we said earlier, 6:30 kick. It should be a great crowd. Where is it? Red? Wear red?
Wear red.
It is? Yeah. So
It's a red game.
Make sure you wear your red and get out early. Again, take advantage of these. You got 6 Saturdays left, Rebel Nation. 6 Saturdays left at home. Take advantage of the Grove. Take advantage of the game atmosphere. Make sure you're there early. Be loud. Go home hoarse where you can't talk. But yeah, and kudos. I want real quick shout out. Kudos to the Road Rebels at Tulane. What an incredible
that was great.
crowd.
Who went to Tulane?
They
There
probably
you go.
had 10
Yeah,
or
that was
12,000
great.
people there. It was incredible to see. And, man, were they loud whenever we needed them late.
Right.
And then as the Tulane fans left, it just got louder and
It was
louder.
our
and
Ole
louder.
Miss home game.
It was
man.
cool to see, yeah.
No doubt.
So,
Hey, thanks so much. Who's doing the Grove? Anybody doing the Grove? Oh, everybody's doing the Grove,
Yeah,
too.
of
That's
course.
cool as well.
Yeah.
I understand that we're going to have a really good crowd from one of my Grove buddies
Yeah.
who has sold some extra
no,
tents.
yeah, I think it's going to be
So
incredible.
anyway,
Yeah, 6:30 kick.
6:30 kick, Ole Miss and Georgia Tech. And we'll see you next week right here on Reb Talk.